Getting things set up tonight. Streamlabs. See if we can update the chatting thing a little bit. Chat box. Okay. For that, we'll make chat a little bit more clear tonight. Still trying to work on that. Okay. So. I'm gonna do a quick deck tech before I get back into the deck. Not gonna have this part on YouTube because I already did a deck tech last night, but we're playing Mono Red Prowess in Modern here. We're so far 2-0 in the league. This is your typical Monastery Swift Spear Soul Scar Mage build with the Mishra's Bauble package. For someone who asked why this was last night, I do believe that was War Dog last night. I think it's just because of the free prowess triggers with these guys and girls whenever you cast them, plus Bedlam Reveler, obviously. Beyond that, you know, you have a bunch of cantrips and ability to get through your deck, things like Crash Through, Manamorphose, Light Up the Stage, allow you to see a lot of cards as opposed to something like Burn. You also have the 4 Canopy lands and the 4 Mishra's Bauble, so you see a lot of cards throughout a game. Beyond that, you have things like Wild Slash, Lightning Bolt, Lava Spike, and Lava Dart to interact basically with your opponent's face most of the time. Also can deal with creatures in some points. And then Bedlam Reveler here kind of as your close out the game kind of card. Beyond, you know, Crash Through, allowing your guys to attack. The difference between this deck and Burn is largely the fact that this deck is very dependent upon its creatures to deal a lot of the damage. So to that end, you know, you are kind of dependent more on your creatures than Burn. Burn usually can get away with, you know, their creatures only hitting once for a couple points of damage, and the game is within reasonable situations, but otherwise, you know, Burn relies on its spells more, Prowess relies on its creatures more, although obviously it's a game-by-game, situation-by-situation thing. The sideboard, 4 copies of Soul Guide Lantern. This is your anti-graveyard hate. A lot of versions have been playing Relic of Progenitus. Obviously, Relic kind of messes with your Bedlam Revelers, but this comes in, immediately exiles a card, and then allows you to either sacrifice it to exile your opponent's graveyards or sack it to draw a card. So, definitely interesting. It's a little bit different than Relic. It saves your own graveyard. 3 copies of Dragon's Claw, pretty good against any type of red mirror match, whether it be Mono Red Prowess, whether it be Blue Red Prowess, whether it be Burn, etc. 2 copies of Shrine and Burning Rage, this is kind of your go-long card. Also the card you bring in sometimes to offset your loss of some of your Bedlam Revelers if you suspect your opponent's going to be bringing in Graveyard Hate. 4 copies of Abrade, very good card in a lot of situations, allows you to have some flexibility in your removal spell slots. Allows you to shatter or, you know, lightning bolt a creature basically, or lightning strike, I guess technically it would be. Dismember for bigger creatures like Gurmag Angler and such, and then 1 copy of Kozilek's Return. It's nice to have a hedge sweeper in a lot of situations, especially since Kozilek's Return really doesn't kill any of your own creatures except Kiln Fiend, and can get rid of problematic things like Core Firewalker, which otherwise could be problematic to deal with in a deck that is, you know, essentially mono red with the exception of the Dismember and the Kozilek's Return. That said, we did start 2-0 in last night's league, so we're going to get rolling here. I believe we played Jund Death Shadow and Played against Junda Shadow and Amulet Titan last night. So that was an interesting end to the stream last night. Yeah, that was one of those ones where we played against some interesting decks in Legacy last night. You know, we played against 2 elf decks in the Mono Red Prowess deck for Legacy last night. We played against Infect, Turbo Depths, and fifth one was, I think, Blue or Sultai Ninjas, which is kind of like a mid-range ninja deck of some kind. So, but we'll not be starting recording for the YouTubes until we actually get in the match. But we're back for day 5 of streaming in a row, so I think that's no small accomplishment. Ghost X rated us last night. I believe he is streaming some mill tonight. And then, yeah, that's kind of what we're looking at right now. Go Ninja, go Ninja, go. Yeah. Ninja got us. That's what happened last night. Okay, we're back for the 3rd match here. We're on the draw. Ugh. So, I get to operate with a lot of knowledge I don't normally have in this matchup. Number 1, the Tunneling Cat is always on Eldrazi-tron, and this hand is pretty bad overall because we have no lands anyway. This hand is better, but not fantastic, so we're up against the Tunneling Kitty Cat. Hopefully we don't get chalised on one here, but if we do, we do. Feels like a... Yep. Rough. Lava Dirt. So I'm doing that to get some information as to whether I wanted to try to save my spells. Obviously, you know, we're not going to be able to resolve these spells, so it's just pretty much, was I drawing something like a Kiln Fiend next turn, and if so, like, what? Certainly rough. Blast Zone's going to make things even more difficult. Yeah, we just have basically a bunch of uncastable spells, so... Shall we move on? Definitely bringing in the Abrades here. Probably want the Dismember. Some number, if not all of the Abrades. Shrine of Burning Rage is not good because they have Karn the Great Creator. Probably want to go down to Bedlam Reveler. This is not a Wild Slash matchup. And then the last cuts. The last cut's Lava Spike or Lava Dart. Don't think either card's particularly great. Lava Dart can potentially trigger Prowess more. Lava Spike obviously deals more raw damage. And we're just going to do it that way. I think we're a dog having lost game 1 as it was. That's why, you know, I laugh at, you know, somebody's like, well, you know, streaming or whatever, people can snipe you. Yeah, they can. But even sometimes having perfect knowledge, you can't necessarily outplay what your opponent's doing. Like, this is a hand that obviously really needs a second land. But I think just the opener that we have is good enough. Dismember, yep. Just gonna get this bolt out of our hand in case we get Chalice next turn. Really don't want to run into a situation where we get Chalice locked from being able to play our spells, because this looks like a Chalice on one. Yep. I'm gonna draw a Blast Zone, which is kind of rough. I'm not going to sacrifice my Fiery Islet here in case we get Thought Knotted. Which exactly looks like what's going to happen. Probably going to lose our Bedlam Reveille here, which sucks. Double Mountain's not great. Matter Shaper? Yep. Lava Dart's an interesting one. One, two, three, four, five, six. Don't think blowing up the map has any true value here. I'm just going to deal with this. Hope they don't top something spectacular here. Tower. Great, now they're Outron next turn. Just fine. For this. Sacrifice the mountain. The 7. And now maybe they drew nothing? Chalice on one's rough. do have 2 more copies of a braid to draw to. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there's no reason to cycle cards to get them in the graveyard right now. So I think I'm just going to crack this eyelet here. We draw in a braid. Draw another land. Okay. Third copy of a braid. That, ladies and gentlemen, is why a braid is such a key card in these matchups. Alright. Question is, do we want the third Bedlam Reveler or not? I think I might, but over what? Sounds fine. Kind of rough against a opponent keeping 7, but, you know, do what we can do. Hopefully they don't have Dismember again. Looks like they don't. Looks like they kept it on the back of a Chalice hand. Or Spatial Contortion, that makes sense too. I'm going to cycle at least one mana Morphos here. Cover ourselves. Lava Spike on top. Feels kind of rough here. Rough, McGruff. Thought not seer. Feels like they have to take a braid here. Yep. That was actually a mistake. I should have bolted and lava darted that there. Especially since they have a Reality Smasher coming down here. It's made their clock significantly weaker. Guess in the end that's not going to matter. Spikes is only players you didn't misplay. No. Bolt. Bolt. I could have bolted and lava darted the Thought Knots here. Instead of bolting face, I could have bolted the Thought Knots here and then lava darted it to kill it, draw us another card deeper, and take some of their pressure off the board. I'm not sure with how that draw lined up it really mattered, because we kept a 3-lander and then immediately drew the 4th land. So unless we hit like Bedlam Reveler, we probably weren't going to have the resources necessary to actually kill them. Yeah, the Lava Spike was the second card I cast, which I cast because can we realistically keep this hand? Has no threat. We're on the play. This hand's much better, obviously. Might be the Burn Mirror. Or a Red Mirror, I should say. No, Dredge. Ooh, yeah. Creeping Chill, sure. I think we just play a Kiln Fiend and, it looks like they're the Smiting Helix version of the deck, too, which is going to be a little rough. Get a Narcomoeba, but at least they don't get to Dredge. Is this Loam or is this actual Cathartic? Nope, it's Cathartic. Well, sugar. Deal a lot of damage, but I don't think it's going to quite be enough. Yeah. All right. What's up, the last god? How are you doing tonight? Some versions run 8, some versions run 6. With Conflagrate, they may not actually be running it. Alright, so we get the... Yeah, Kiln Daddy is nice, but the problem is here is we have to... No, they get Smiting Helix. Okay. Which they notably cannot currently cast. They can Ox here. Do they Ox or do they can flag? That's an interesting question. That is a question for the Dredge players. As far as this matchup post board, I think we bring in the 4 Soul Guide Lanterns. And beyond that, maybe a Kozilek's Return? So 5 cards maybe. Down the 4 Lava Spikes and maybe one of the Wild Slashes. So if they can flag, they're, I guess either way they're dead to any burn spell. So it comes down to, do they want to empty their hand, or do they want to get more of a board presence? Huh. I don't know that we actually have 20 outs here. How many outs do we have? Oh, come on. Really hard to beat 3 Creeping Chills. Just like that. For... I mean, we did deal them 26 damage on turn... No, 25 damage on turn 3. Unfortunately, they had 26 life. I suppose. Pass the turn. Taking 7 here. To hit the 4th Creeping Chill. Oh, they can't hit the 4th Creeping Chill because they had to discard it. Okie dokie. Delightful, delightful, delightful. So we definitely want the 4 Soul Guides. I don't know what else we want, though. Feels like this is a Lava Spike out matchup. Ironically, I think this might be the first time I've played against straight up or a variant of Dredge with Mono Red, so I don't know. Hope everybody is having a good night tonight. How's everybody doing? Once again, unfortunately, this is going to be a short night. I'm pretty tired today. This was day number 6 in a row at work for me, so I'm kind of like... just ready for the couple of days off here. Tomorrow's stream will probably be far, far longer. Probably start a good bit earlier, too. Apparently our opponent also plays Prowess, so fortunately we're not on their list, so I play first. Just from past experience, this kind of hand's just not good enough. Like, I really don't want to go to 5. I don't really think 5 serves any particular advantage, unfortunately. So... Tricorn. Because Lava Dart kills more of their blockers we care about, Lava Dart can kill multiple Narcomoebas and multiple Silver Smoot Gulls. The only thing a Wild Slash kills we care about is Stinkweed Imp. That takes some amount of time for them to get going, except for when they have that, apparently. in the build itself, or why did I leave it in the deck? Looks like we're basically dead here. Don't know. It was the first 5-0 I found in the Mono Red variant, honestly. It's in the same flex slot that a lot of people run, like Burst Lightning or whatever in. So, okay, well, that's the game. Double Creeping Chill. Get Silversmith back. Do we even have a prayer at this point? What would even save us right now? Alright. GG's to our opponent. One final match here. No lands, no creatures. Pretty easy mulligan. Well, you also got to remember we did 2 matches last night, too, so... Is this the kind of hand you gamble on? Feels like this is the kind of hand you gamble on. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too, Rakmar. I'm not happy about it, but at the same time, it's kind of whatever. Probably blue-white control. No, we have no idea, because they literally just... And then we're gonna get... I was gonna say, are we gonna get got by a spell snare here? It'd kind of suck. Hopefully they're relying on something like a Codal here. So frustrating. Looks like we're a good old-fashioned Bant. Doing the full cycle of Thraxamunder until Genera would be a lot of really bad mythics. Certainly possible. Well, I mean, we're basically a bad burn deck now, so probably dead here. Sure. Leave Lava Dart in case we draw Swift Spear. Kind of punish there for our sequencing. Don't think I'm going to play around anything here. Come to 1. Okay. We'll just pass. We know they're drawing Path to Exile here. I think it's just played because it's one of the better so I mean we have to jam the Wild Slash here, but they probably have a counter spell of one of 10,000 different things. Well, the thing is, with them constantly holding up mana, we were trying to draw back-to-back burn spells to kind of burn them out, or kind of hope that they're in a position where they have to tap like most of, if not like all their mana for Uro. So it's kind of a darned if you do, darned if you don't kind of thing. Probably bring in the Burning Rages. Probably shave one Bedlam Reveler. Definitely shave the Wild Slashes. And then beyond that, Lava Dart crash through. And then it's certainly possible it would have been correct to jam. Well, even looking at it from like a burn perspective, you generally like wanted to get into games with blue-white X decks where you kind of play a draw-go game. Obviously, no lander, this is a mulligan. This hand isn't great by any means, but I think it's a keep. Interesting is, what card do we play on 1 here, or on 2 here? I could have Force of Negation, so we probably want to play Kiln Fiend here. Good chance they have Path or like Snapcaster Mage here. We just attack here, see what they do. Ether Gust. That's the bottom then. This makes these red matchups so hard when they have Ether Gusts and everything else post board too. Well, the problem with Shrine on 2 is they could easily, just as easily have Force of Negation. Yeah, but the 2-for-1 isn't what we care about, you know? The problem is, what we care about is our opponent buying enough time to leverage their 2-for-1. Because we're not going to win the 2-for-1 battle against them. That's just not how this matchup works. Kind of curious that they had Monastery Mentor in their sideboard, though. Really wanted to not burn a land on that Lava Dart, but we couldn't leave that whatchamacallit in play. Couldn't leave that Monastery Mentor in play with all these other spells. Oh, for Pete's sake. Okay. Still only have one card we don't know about. That's a rough one. Because now we have to decide, do we want to kill Teferi? One, two. Let's get that off the board. Opponent with their terrible mana that they've got to fix. Well, that would explain why they weren't playing their other card, because it was another copy of 3 Fairy. One, two, three. I think we do this and kind of pray here. Wow, that card's annoying. Why did they print that third mode on that card? And now they get to Mystic Sanctuary back, whatever they wanted. Archmage's Charm again, sure. Interesting. Hopefully you don't have Path. If you have Path, this all doesn't matter anyway. Jeez. I think we're still supposed to serve with Killing Fiend here. And then, I was going to say, and then they'll top deck Uro just for funsies. Certainly does feel that way sometimes, doesn't it? So obviously we know the Timely Reinforcements was their draw this turn. And they were holding on to the island. Gotta bolt one of their tokens, because otherwise we lose our creature, and our creatures are our best way to win the game, even if our opponent has a billion answers to them. At least they're drawing a land. Mountain. Seems good. Celestial Purge. Not the greatest for us, but not the worst. Drawing that mountain was pretty bad. Yep. Feels like their last card in hand is nothing. An arrow. No, they definitely hit an arrow. They might only be running two. Their particular build is a little bit difficult to get a handle on. I hate Arrow. I really do. Makes all the fair matchups such a joke for these control decks. Right on time, Soul Guide Lantern. Right on time. Yeah, well, we've basically wrapped up the game now. It's kind of like the frustrating part with this Bant deck is it does take them forever to win games sometimes. So you have that like faint glimmer of hope that you can like get back into games. Bit frustrating to start with a 2-0 and then into the what's very much looking like a 2-3. Even left in our deck at this point. We have one Bedlam Reveler, a couple Crash Throughs, a Lava Dart, whole bunch of Monastery Swift Spears. Suppose there's like some combination of cards that could allow us to win. Doesn't seem exceedingly likely, but I suppose it's possible. What point did they counter something here? I guess feels like the card they have to counter, right? If I put that on top, do another Path to Exile here. Do not, so we might actually have a chance here. JK! So we can kill Uro here to buy us a turn, but is there really a combination of draws that allow us to win the game from there? Guess we won't know unless we try, right? Only we'd use one of those Soul Guide lanterns to blow up our opponent's graveyard. I suppose we wouldn't have even gotten to this point if we'd done that, so... I think my challenge is to deck myself before my opponent can kill me. Still looking for like a Bedlam Reveler here. Ooh, drew a Swiss Spear. I think at that point we can concede here. That was frustrating. So, thoughts and wrap up for this league. Deck obviously has the ability to go long. You know, I do like Shrine in some spots. But our opponent was playing a really weird version of Bant. Like, they had Frantic Inventory to Fairy an Uro, but apparently no Quaddles that we could see. So I don't know what to take of that matchup. Dredge. We were literally within 1 life point of killing them through 2 Creeping Chills in game 1. In game 2, we mulliganed to 6 and didn't find any Graveyard Hate, so that's just kind of a wash. And then matchup 3 was... what did we play match 3? So, yeah, going through game 26. It's one of the downsides of the... Oh, we played against Eldrazi Tron. So, Chalice got us game 1. We won game 2. I had a minor miscue in game 3, but I don't think it ended up mattering anyway. Against Eldrazi Tron, we beat Shadow and Amulet with some really good draws last night, plus our opponent mulliganing a little bit. So, overall, kind of about where I would have expected with the matchups we were facing. Dredge is not the greatest matchup for any type of red deck with the Creeping Chills, now the Smiting Helixes. I think it might be a little bit better for Prowess than for Burn, but not finding Graveyard Hate in game 2 just kind of cost us, as well as hitting hit by Double Chill. And then Bant's still Bant. Regardless, the blue-white X Uro decks are just, or blue-green X Uro decks are just a bane for red decks. Not really much you can do about it, unfortunately. They're packing Aether Gusts, they're packing Celestial Purges, they've got Uro, they've got Timely Reinforcements. It's just kind of a rough go of things in those matchups sometimes. So, anywho, I want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. It was a shorter stream. I want to see who's actually still streaming right at the moment. Go ahead and raid somebody. I'm going to wrap this up for the YouTube peoples. So, hey, thanks, Rockmar, for the follow. So, that said, let us look to see who we can raid. Apparently I stopped recording at some point in this mess, so I have to go back and re-record stuff for the YouTube peoples. Yay! Well, you too, War Dog. Hope you get some sleep, man. Go ahead and raid Ghost. Yeah, kind of raided us last night. Thanks everybody for tuning in.